first time ever live. Thanks for watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire youth wrestling community. And I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are
Rope Break.
And family, of course, like every single Friday, we cover SmackDown. But this SmackDown was at least a little different. You know, it's the follow show from the Royal Rumble. So welcome to every single one of you. Thanks for giving us a chance. And, you know, we're going to be talking about every single thing that happened on this show. And I feel that, like I said, every Friday, like we always say, it's a big load, you know, sometimes has sprinkles on it or the corn that we ate the day before and stuff like that. But I feel this one was a little bit better. Edge was there, you know, to address the WWE Universe and, you know, who's he's going to possibly challenge at WrestleMania. So we're going to be talking about all of that. And what are your thoughts? Do you like the show?
I mean, it was, I would say it was definitely a little bit better than what we've seen the past couple of weeks. And, you know, maybe that was Edge being there. But if we go look at the ratings on Wednesday night, you know, Edge doesn't equal success. So, you know, maybe this show, you know, it still wasn't the greatest. You know, SmackDown to me is still, I almost want to say it's the weakest show, but I'd rather watch SmackDown than Raw only because it's 2 hours versus 3. But that's a whole nother discussion. But I mean, this SmackDown was definitely a little bit better than, you know, we've seen previous weeks, but it was nowhere near a perfect show. There was definitely a lot this show didn't need to have.
Yes, absolutely right. You're absolutely right on that. So family, don't forget to check us out because we have every single good show ever. You know, we cover absolutely everything, and Jean-Paul is going to tell you about what happened on NXT UK, a show that we cover on Thursday, you know, after the show is over.
Yeah, NXT UK, you know, like we said, this was maybe a little bit of a slow week, you know, kind of setting things up. Next week is going to be a very, you know, just, I would say, big match show. You know, we have a street fight between The Hunt and Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. But, you know, this show, it was like Jordan Devlin. He wanted an open challenge, hey, for my cruiserweight title. Well, he didn't get an open weight or a challenge for his title, but he did get an open challenge, you know, by Dave Mastiff. And that was a great match for the main event. So, you know, check out that review.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, Pato is here with us. Ada, mis amigos, that's what he says. Hola, Pato, ¿cómo estás? Thank you for watching. You know, and don't forget, family, Royal Rumble in Spanish, always. Always talking about the Spanish, English. We cover absolutely everything right there, all the winners, everything that happened right there. The video just came out today, so be with us for us. So, Paul, you know, the show started out with we're going to talk about the future of Bianca Belair and Edge. That was the beginning of the show. We're going to be talking about both of them. You know, what's the future for these two guys? You know, Bianca won on the women's side, Edge won on the men's side of it. But of course, Paul, 2 minutes in the show, I want to change the channel because this guy comes out. I know Pato loves him, but I don't love him at all. It actually bothers me, and that's actually Roman Reigns. So he comes out, and of course, I just don't want to see that anymore. I hate it. You know, he's right there, boom. You know, you can see him, and he says, Paul, you know, not to talk about the past, but, you know, I beat Kevin Owens, and, you know, I beat him like I said I would, and now we're going to talk about the future, and the future is Edge. And, you know, once you win the Royal Rumble, then you purchase your ticket to the main event of WrestleMania. And I feel actually disrespected because he went to Drew McIntyre. He went to Finn Balor in NXT and he didn't come to me, you know, and I'm the main event. So at least I like that line. Don't you think that was cool? At least this promo that he had was pretty good.
Oh, yeah. You know, I like this promo a lot. And I liked how when he started off, he was like, yeah, I kicked Kevin Owens' ass. You know, he was cocky. And then it kept going on. And, you know, he was waiting for Edge to show up. And Edge never showed up. And that kind of got under his skin because then he even said to Paul Heyman, why the hell did we come out here first? Almost like Edge should have came out, called out Roman, and then Roman came out. You know, he almost feels like a girl who got stood up on a date or something. It's it's like, you know, why am I standing here? You know, what the hell? And he's like, you know, he was calling out Edge and he didn't show up in anything. And I mean, this was good. This was really good to kind of, you know, plant the seeds. And of course, now the rumor that's running rampant, some people are even saying it's official, set in stone. Oh, it's going to be Edge versus Roman Reigns, which, I mean, if it is, great. But, you know, I like how they're teasing it, though. You kind of don't know if that's really what the matchup's going to be.
Yes, remember here, he goes to the assistant, is where the hell is Edge? Oh, so he didn't come yet. They get really mad. And he's like, hey, you know, he got really, really upset, like you said. And then he just says, I want your answer today. You know, that's what he meant. I need your answer today. So that was, like you said, a good promo by Roman Reigns. So now let's move on to the next segment that actually I enjoyed this a little bit, but I think a little bit of Eddie Guerrero was right there involved in this, Paul. You know, King Corbin versus Dominic Mysterio. That was the first match that we have. And Corbin like really jumps Dominic and also Ray. He takes him out really quick in the match. So that's what we're going to have. Remember, Steven Cutler was fired from the WWE, so he's not going to have. He was able to disappear those of his guys. For COVID.
Those his bodyguards lasted a whole 2 weeks.
Yeah, like now he's again the lone wolf. So that's what happens. But match quality, I did like. Corbin, like we always mention, she's a good wrestler. He has a lot of good moves. Of course, this is one of my favorite moves, Dip 6. And Dominic, he's still in developing. He's still like crafting like his moves and everything, but he doesn't go out of tune, with like everybody else. So I like that.
Yeah, no, this was really good and a good opening match to start the show. And it's like the only thing is, I feel like you and I, at least for me, I shouldn't speak for you, is I'm not invested in this feud. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like, there's nothing coming out of this feud. It's not like, Corbin was trying to flirt with Aaliyah and, something like that. And then he's defending her honor. Like, there's nothing to hook me into this feud. It's just like, okay, Corbin won twice. Now it's like, oh, Dominic, third time going to be a charm. And it was. But like you said, early on, a little bit of Eddie Guerrero, it's like it wasn't even a clean win. So that was kind of like, yeah.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't because we got to see. I'm going to give you the picture right there so we can talk about it just in a few seconds. But like Rey Mysterio comes back to help Dominic. Dominic was kind of like on the lower side of the end. And like he was actually being dominated by Corbin. But there you go. He actually gets underneath the ring and then he comes out in a hornswoggle fashion. And then he's like, oh, God, boom. He starts like pulling him out. And then that allows Dominic to hit the 619. And then he goes for like the frog splash. And then he gets the win. And even like Michael Cole and Corey Graves, they said in commentary, all like taking like Eddie Guerrero's playbook. And Dominic gets a win. So I still don't know where this is going to go. Am I excited about this feud? No, because like you said, it's like there's no storyline behind it. Just
I could almost see Corbin getting pissed, so then he'll have a match with Ray next week, and he'll probably beat Ray, and then we'll see a fourth match between Dominic and Corbin, and who knows who will win that one. But that's how I see this going, and it's like, this doesn't mean anything. This isn't like, oh, okay, like, let's say Dominic wins, and it's like, oh, whoever wins this match will be number one contender for, Big E. And then we see Dominic, oh, he's challenging for first singles gold, it'll be something big. But they won't do anything like that.
It should be like that, don't you think? Like everything that we said has to have implications into
either that or there's actually, a match a little bit later on that was way more deserving of a number one contendership for some kind of title.
We're going to be talking about that. Absolutely right. But don't forget, family, first, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications for the original Raw Break, the best podcast in the whole professional wrestling world and in every single topic. Because if you put us to talk about anything, we will talk about it. We'll just love wrestling. And Edge is going to be making his decision about, his future against Roman Reigns. And
do you know what decision he didn't have to make because it was such an obvious one? Subscribing to Rope Break.
That's right. That's right there is Edges. There's you don't have to have a decision for that. But like, let's talk about Paul's, like you said, Intercontinental Champion Big E. He's pretty confident he's going to have a triple threat match, against Apollo Crews and also our big liberator Fidel, Sami Zayn Castro. So like, we're going to be talking about this match. But like, he sounded pretty confident in this promo. He said, you know what? These two guys are like crap. I beat both of them. The one I beat for the title. The other one, I beat already like 2 weeks ago. It will be fine. So this bothers me because, again, no implications from that. Remember that side that we have a few weeks ago with Roman and Apollo. Nothing has come from that.
They were saying almost like Apollo is his friend. And I'm like, is he? I think both these guys are supposed to be heel, and they're kind of portraying Apollo, like babyface again. So it's like, they almost retconned, like, oh yeah, that never happened with Roman, and that was stupid because I thought that was actually something good for Apollo, like that, that actually elevated him. I mean, I didn't like this because, of course, then Big E had to make it goofy. And of course, Kayla and all the other, interviewers, backstage people, they always have to go along with it. Yes. When in reality, it's like, what the, and also,
and in the end, he's like,
yeah, that's what I mean. I'd rather just, to me, Big E lost all credibility when he came out, was sitting on the sofa.
Oh, well,
on the couch. That done for me. Now there, you don't have a way to make him actually look good. The fact that like they went with Edge with other people. Remember what they say months ago, November, October. Oh, Big E might be the possible winner of the Royal Rumble. No, they went with somebody that's actually legit. It's not Layla Hirsch, but it's legit Edge. So, for the guys, people that love NASCAR, Daytona 500, if you want to see the boss, Sasha Banks, right there, she's going to be for Valentine's Day. So cool stuff. Of course, they have to like plug these things. And of course, we also help them out by plugging them too. So, we're my little marks. No, we just, hey, we like to promote good stuff. So you want to talk about good stuff? There you go.
This is a great match. These two are actually legit professional wrestlers. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. They had a few matches like towards WrestleMania time last year. They'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they did. And this match was actually great. And Daniel Bryan, his new role in WWE is actually putting people over. Give them the light that they never had on their own. So I think that that's what he's doing these things.
Yeah, this match was fantastic. This is definitely the highlight of the show for me. Cesaro's finally getting that push that we've all been clamoring for. Even commentary said, like, Cesaro, he's one of those guys who's finally now he's showing the world what he's made of and that he's one of the greatest, wrestlers that we have here. And even Corey Gray said, like, he's always been this good. It's not like he's finally, he reached the pinnacle and now we're all seeing it. He's like, no, he's always been this good. And which he has been, you go back to the days, him versus in NXT versus Sami Zayn versus William Regal when William Regal was still wrestling.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, Cesaro was putting on good matches and you see his friend there, Nakamura's cheering him on, which was good. And this was a fantastic match between these two. And I mean, just, the intensity from Cesaro and Daniel Bryan, like, Daniel Bryan, I feel when he's in there with guys like that, it elevates him. Even though he's already so good, it makes him better. But if you put him in there with like a joke guy or like, someone who's bullshit, Bryan will kind of be like goofy like them. But you put him in there with somebody serious and he's just as serious as them. So this match was really good. And I didn't actually notice how Cesaro got busted.
I was about to ask you that. It's like, what was the moment that he got really busted open?
Yeah, because they were wrestling and I mean, it was hitting and maybe like an elbow or a knee and it could have just split the skin, something like that. Or maybe it was, I don't think it was from his ear because it looked more like on the forehead.
No, it is on the forehead. Yeah, it's like around, it's on the forehead. But like you said, and then he actually made Daniel Bryan tap. So,
I mean, it was a great, great visual in the match and everything. And he hit the Cesaro swing and then I believe he went right into the sharpshooter. And then Daniel Bryan tapped out. And this was good because you see Bryan, he's pissed at the end, kind of like, I can't believe I tapped out. This
there you go. That's there it is. There it is. Like the cut that he had, like a little
legit picture
right there.
And Bryan's sitting there in the corner pissed, and Cesaro walks over to him, looks at him, and you think, oh, Cesaro's going to kick his ass, because we know Cesaro was a heel for the longest time, and he puts out the fist, show like a sign of respect, give me the fist bump. We had just had a legit match, and I read something, a few days ago. They said Cesaro is going to get a big babyface push. And, they're going to do something with him. So hopefully Intercontinental Champion, or maybe I would like that just because it's guaranteed gold on him. But I would also love to see him maybe challenge Roman Reigns if, Edge decides to challenge another,
that would
somebody
be cool
else.
Too. That would be like the perfect storyline because everybody, if you think that Coffee Mania was big, Cesaro will be even bigger.
If there was crowds, forget it. The crowds would be losing their mind if they didn't see that match.
Everybody loves Cesaro, so like why not? And you know what? Also, like Daniel Bryan said in one of the reports, he said that like the person that was supposed to be had this great performance at the Gauntlet match, it was supposed to be Cesaro. But like in the last minute with Vince Kennedy McMahon, they go, "Oh, let's go to Shinsuke."
I mean that's fine too.
I mean, yeah, but like for example, like it seems like a lot of people are finally getting in that Cesaro bandwagon.
But see, those are the two guys you got to push to have this show at least seem legit instead of who we're gonna see a little bit later on. Like the Street Profits and Otis, and I mean, I like Otis, but he's not a legit wrestler. If you compare him to like Nakamura and Cesaro, no.
Oh yeah, no, it's not a legit wrestler. So why would you do that? So let's go like to you said the Street Profits. Let's go to the wife of Montez for Bianca Belair. They had the reaction of her parents winning the Royal Rumble. Is like, oh my god, it's pretty legit. It's like they're really celebrating. They're going at it.
I mean, that was funny when the dad fell off the sofa.
Oh
I
yeah,
laughed at that. I'm like, that was pretty funny.
Bianca, and then we say yeah, but like it's like, oh, my parents have always supported me, and I always want to make them proud. When it comes to my decision, I will face the champion that will face at WrestleMania. I know it's a very important decision, so everybody's saying that I should take my time, but I will make my decision really, 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 really soon. So at least, I like that. Like at least they know instead of like keep teasing it. I feel in this one, well, for you, like at least is it Asuka or is no brainer with Sasha Banks?
See, that's hard to say because of like, the very awkward segment that we got later on tonight. I really don't know where they're going to go. I would say she stays on SmackDown. I don't see her challenging Asuka. Like I said, to me, that's going to be, I see Charlotte taking that title, and then I see Rhea Ripley winning Elimination Chamber. And then
Yeah,
I
and
see
then
that match going to be the match on the Raw side. And then whoever is the champion, whether it's Carmella, Sasha, Bailey, Bailey could be a dark horse in this. And then I think that's going to be the one who goes against Bianca.
That would be cool. Yeah, I will not be opposed to see that. So let's go talking. You mentioned Bailey. We love her. We love her like dark.
See, look how good I am at those transitions. How we
yes,
just go
exactly.
boom, boom, boom.
You make the show flow, Paul. There you go. I like that. So she goes against Ruby Riott, and this match, like you said, was pretty decent, but it was taken away from what was happening outside of the ring, and that was actually Billie Kay promoting herself, still the interaction with Corey Graves. She wants an opportunity to be member of the Riott Squad. Nobody really likes her. I mean, Billie Kay has a really complex character because it's like, with the Iconics at least made sense because it was an annoying, like a pretty obnoxious heel. But
and they were both Australian. They both, they're best friends for how long they had the chemistry. It made sense. This is just like you said, it's awkward, but I don't know if they had a plan that we could clearly see what it's going to be, but there isn't. And I hope to God they don't do the one thing where Corey Graves is like, well, Bailey was a women's tag champion, and so were you. Maybe you two should team up. And she's like, oh yeah, maybe we will. And I'm like, don't lower Bailey, to Billie Kay's level. I'm sorry, I don't, nothing against Billie Kay, but it's just like Bailey to me is main event. And since she lost that title, she's kind of slowly going down the card. She's still main event, but definitely bottom of the main event. And, I don't want to see her fall down any further.
Yeah, I don't want to see that either. But like you said, good, like kind of like I really like that spot when like Bailey sent Ruby to the turnbuckle. Then, like you said, the distraction that we saw in the picture from Billie Kay, because Liv Morgan was kind of helping out Ruby. But then a beautiful and really nice executed Rose Plant. I love that move because you can hit it from absolutely anywhere. Then 1, 2, 3, and like you said, there were teases about this. So let's hope to God that like they don't do that because, like you said, that will take Bailey from being like a believable baby face, to like the Bailey that like wanted to give hugs and all of that. So I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't like this. And also one thing, side note, Corey Graves, I don't know if this was on his podcast or whatever, but he's talking about tag teams for the women. And he said the only legit tag team is Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. None of the other tag teams feel like tag teams. And I'm like, does nobody did they just like disrespect and overlook the Riott Squad?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, they should be the ones who have those belts. They, they're to me the most legit team and really the only legit team, in all these women. And we see here, okay, singles match, Ruby Riott loses. And it's like, I feel like these two are never going to even go after that tag, championship. And that's a shame.
That's annoying. That's annoying. Like you said, they shouldn't be that way. But, like you said, like actually the only tag team that is good is the Riott Squad. But again, completely overlooked. Nobody really believes in them. Edge is finally in the house. Finally, he went a little late. He was with Beth. Of course, they were probably having some fun. Hey, they're a married couple. They can do that. So now let's go on to like Bianca Belair. She finally comes out. She's going to address her future. And she said, when I won the Royal Rumble, my life changed. And, ever since last Sunday, everybody has called me and just asked me, what am I going to do? And, who's going to be my opponent at WrestleMania? And there's a big decision. And then we have Asuka, the champion of Raw, the Empress of Tomorrow. We have dominated like the Red brand. And we have Sasha, my girl, champion on SmackDown. So like she's kind of going back and forth between them. And then we hear Reginald. It's like, no. It's like Bianca. So that's completely, when that happened to me, that completely took me out of the promo. It's like, why is he there? And he just pretty much mentioned is like, you should actually go fight Asuka, because if you just go like here with like Sasha, you're just gonna be beaten by Carmella. So he inserts Carmella into it. So I didn't like this. I just don't understand why Carmella is actually needed into this like thing. The feud should be over. I mean, Carmella, you already tried for her to have a championship. It didn't work out. So I don't really care for this anymore. Then, Carmella came out and she says, I beat Sasha twice. And, despite all your hype, Bianca, I think I can beat you too. So, of course, we know that that's not the case, right?
Yeah, to me, this whole segment was just bad. There's a couple of times where they, they're like, stumbling over their words. And I don't know if Bianca was just nervous or maybe, her and, Montez and, Angelo, maybe they had a little too much, smoke going on backstage. Who knows what the deal is, but just saying how Asuka, is undefeated, which, clearly she isn't undefeated, hasn't been for a long time. And, they're just, it was just awkward. I don't know if they didn't know what the whole point of the promo, maybe they didn't know what point they were trying to get across. Cause like you said, it was just Carmella is inserted in this for some reason. And I don't think they knew the direction of this promo.
No.
because I don't think the writers know the direction of this feud and the storyline.
Yeah, and they made it really complicated, and they made it more awkward for every single one of us, like you said. And I didn't really like this, and this just pretty much turned into like Bianca grabbing her like long hair and whipping Reginald and beating him up really good.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do this segment, it should have just been Bianca was cutting her promo. She gets interrupted by Carmella. Carmella can be like, "No, you're bullshit. I don't care if you won the Royal Rumble, blah blah blah." And then her and Carmella have a match. You know, maybe a little mini feud to just kind of get us closer to WrestleMania. And that's what it should have been. You don't need to have Charlotte come out here. Like, what are they going to make this a triple threat? Is this going to be some like Michaels, Triple H, Benoit? Like, you know, what is this? To me, it's like, no, it should just be a single feud, one-on-one. Let her just beat Carmella now and then move on to Sasha. Or like I said, if the belt goes to Bayley or if it goes to whoever, because maybe the Chamber is going to be the SmackDown women. You know, who knows? It's like, it's really up in the air. Really, and like maybe Sasha will be defending it in the Chamber. That's what I mean. We really don't know what's going on yet.
And like I said, this segment didn't come out good. That's the only thing that we gotta mention. It did not come out good. So now let's go with like the Liberator, Sami Zayn. He keeps talking about like how he's been, you know, the victim of a lot of injustices, conspiracy theories, like ever since he lost the IC belt. But tonight he's really, you know, confident that he's gonna regain that championship. So now let's go to like the worst part of the show, because I don't know why, but like this turned out to be like absolutely the trashiest part of the show. You know, our guy that like he doesn't even talk anymore the way he used to. Otis and Chad Gable, they won the tag team belts. Of course, Otis wants the gold because Taki was separated from him. We don't know where Taki's been. And that's like, you know, Otis had the greatest 2020, but towards the end, the absolute worst 2020. So coronavirus kind of caught him off later on in the year. And then they go against, you know, the tag champions, Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. But see, like you said, they ruined this match, taking out the real commentary. Not that we really care for the commentary, but at least, you know, putting the...
Well, I mean, compared to the two we got, I'd rather listen to Michael Cole all day. You know, I mean, this was bad. Yeah. Like you said, this was like a watch along, but it's like these guys, you know, they're drinking beer. They're, you know, they want the smoke. They have the smoke, too much of it. And it was just, this wasn't good. Thankfully, this match was no longer than 4 minutes long, 4 or 5 minutes. So we didn't have to sit through it for too long, but just awkward. We said it on.
There was not even commentary. We just know that like the, you know, glorious DDT onto Chad Gable because Otis actually was taken out by Dolph Ziggler, and Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, they just like, you know, won that match. So no title opportunity for, you know, Otis and Chad Gable. I mean, do I really care about this? No, they actually made me not care even more. Of how bad they did it with the Street Profits right there in like a small screen. I hated that.
And to me, this diminishes everything to be like, you know, Roode and Ziggler as champs, because you have these guys on commentary and it's like almost making it out like a joke. And it's like, you know, nobody ever took these two seriously as champion, and this definitely doesn't help it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, you know, they always find ways to make their champions look worse than what they should be.
Yeah,
you know, because at least, you know, give them legit like opponents and everything. Why they have to?
Yeah, because you could have this match. You know, you could have Corey Graves and Michael Cole, you know, putting the heel team over, being like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, we don't like them. You know, they're heels. I don't like their tactics, but you know, you got to admit, you know, they have good chemistry. They work well together. They're dominant. Instead of just the Street Profits, oh, get him, fam, and it's like
they're winning, man, they're winning.
Yeah, it's like, you know, that's awful. That takes you completely out of the match.
That took me away. You know, no, thank you, Street Profit. You are a great tag team, but please just don't be on commentary. Don't be on commentary. Yeah, you get a thumbs down for both of us. Absolutely right. 33 years of like the main event match, supposedly like seen by like 33 million people, like one of the worst matches in professional wrestling ever. I'll tell you the absolute truth. You don't need to hear it from Michael Cole or like Corey Graves.
To be honest, Andre was more than done.
Oh,
you know, when you see a guy in the, like we said, Goldberg was done, you know, oh, Goldberg should retire. Well, Andre was like 10 years past that point.
But no, 10 years, retire and then came, absolutely right. You know, he even did that underhook, like, you know, like suplex or whatever, or like a plex, absolutely terrible, you know, like, and they did the storyline that like Andre won like the championship and that Ted DiBiase bought the WWE from championship from him, or Andre like just gives them to him.
Ted DiBiase bought it from him, so that was like his only like title reign, but it didn't really count.
That lasted like 3 seconds or so. And, you know, he goes like, and he was in the worst English possible. I do title Ted DiBiase. I'm like, I don't even know what he's saying. I feel like Almas is talking with me. I don't know. I don't get it. So, Hogan has to mention something. He goes, oh, yeah, I got to beat him. And then right away he goes to Edge. So why, can you focus on one subject to go to the other?
Well, yeah, they were like, oh, Hogan's going to talk about that, legendary match he had 33 years ago. And then, he's also going to talk about the Royal Rumble. And it's like, okay, well, what do those two things have to do with each other? Yeah. I know that match happened 33 years ago today. Okay, then just talk about that. Or just bring him on to talk about the Rumble, to talk about both. And he does it in a matter of 30 seconds because he's like, oh, I'm picking Edge, brother, because Edge was my tag partner, man. And he's like, oh, yeah, the Hulkamaniacs love him, brother. And it's like, what was the point of this?
Absolutely wasted. You don't need Hogan for shit like that. I'm sorry. I just don't understand why you will do that.
Now, if they wanted to say, 33 years ago, this match, blah, 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 do a little bit like a 2-3 minute thing where you have Michael Cole or Corey Graves doing the commentary, and then that was it. And you don't have Hogan on, I'd be fine with that.
I would be absolutely fine with that. Like you said, I agree. Zero triple threat IC, championship match. This was a pretty decent match. Like we gotta mention, and the only thing like you always mention in the shows is like, can Sammy get like a shirt like it actually looks like?
Can he take his shirt off?
Or like, he
looks like a wrestler. Yeah,
because like it is just bad. It just looks really bad on him. I just don't like that. But like at least the match of the quality of the match, he was pretty good. These three guys gave it all because there's three good athletes. Big E is really good, but the way that like they make him they portray this guy for like so long, for 5 years, with the pancakes and now the sofa and all of that. Every time that he wants momentum, no, it's not believable enough. Apollo Crews, he was champion for like a few weeks. Paul Heyman was behind that push. Nothing. And of course, the Liberator, he's a great, fantastic heel wrestler, but no, they don't want him.
Sami Zayn can play the underdog babyface. He can play like this, kind of like a shithead heel. He's fantastic. And like you said, all three of these guys so good. And this match was great. This was definitely the second best match of the night, followed by the Cesaro and Daniel Bryan match. Yeah. And, it was lots of spots in this where anybody could have won it. And that was good. It wasn't like, oh, they just beat up Sami Zayn for 10 minutes and let's just laugh at him. No, there was, a couple of times, especially at the end when he hit that haluva kick on Big E, you thought Sami Zayn was going to win this. And actually, I thought they were going to, pull the, the trigger on Sami Zayn getting it back to just kind of, the Isaiah Swerve Scott. But, I love that picture too. When Big E hit that huge suplex, that was great on the two of them. And, this match was fantastic.
Towards the end, like you said, it was a little crappy though, because it was Big E who like took Sammy out, right? Like he pulled him out, or it was.
Well, no, it was Sammy hit the haluva kick on Big E, and then Apollo pulled him out of the ring because he would have probably won the match there, and then he kind of picked up Sammy and like gorilla press slammed him into the timekeeper's area, so Sammy was done. And then it was like, they must have buzzed to the ref, like, hey, tell these guys to go home. We only have 10 seconds. And as soon as Apollo slid in the ring, it was boom, big ending, 1, 2, 3, and Big E wins.
And done, yeah, like you said. And I don't like this because at least, it tells me that you don't have anything for Big E, really. And, I would much rather see the title on Sammy or even Apollo Crews. Why? Because Apollo Crews can join Roman. Do one of those two things instead of Big E, because to me, Big E is not doing anything with the title. He's not making the title relevant. He's not making it like meaningful. At least for me, I don't know how you feel, but like
no.
everybody.
And the problem is they don't have any good mid card heel to challenge Big E. And see, that would be something where you could have put the title onto a Sami Zayn or even a heel Apollo Crews to go against, like we said, the new up and coming babyface Cesaro. But because nobody wants to see a babyface Big E versus babyface Cesaro. I'm sure some people do, but like. The story needs to be babyface versus heel.
Yes, and everybody, like you said, they're gonna go with like Big E. They're gonna support him because Big E is more popular with the kids, New Day, all of that, the children, all of that storyline. Nobody really cares about. But let's move on to like next week. We're gonna get the return of Seth Rollins. The Friday Night Messiah, he's coming back. So like I was actually waiting for him to come back this week, but like at least we'll see what feud he gets inserted on. Because we know that like his main event, but like do we see him going against Roman at WrestleMania? Maybe, but that will be a babyface Seth Rollins, which it will be okay. But we'll see where he ends up going. Maybe we'll go back to Mysterio, Aaliyah, and all of that. We'll see what happens. So it's interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and he probably will still be the Friday Night Messiah, or he'll still have that Messiah gimmick, and I said it in the Royal Rumble review. I wish he would have been, burn it down, babyface Seth Rollins, and a bunch of other people said too. This was the perfect time for him to drop that gimmick because a lot of people don't like that gimmick, the Messiah.
No.
They're like, oh, it's a bullshit gimmick. I thought it was decent for heel. It obviously his best heel work, was the 2015 and all that, but this was no. I mean, it was all right. At least it was better than the babyface stuff he was doing against the
Yeah,
Fiend.
when actually the Universal Champion.
But I mean, we'll see. Like, I'm excited to see him just because he's a hell of a wrestler and he'll add some much needed talent to SmackDown.
Yes, he will add more better promo quality and all of that. Absolutely. So let's go to the main event, and that was Edge. He was going to address his future, and Edge just pretty much mentioned, you cannot accomplish your dreams or something that you haven't dreamed of. So, like, Sunday actually was dream. I dreamed that I was gonna be here on SmackDown, going back to my house. You remember Edge all the years that he was actually the stones, like the cornerstones of SmackDown. That's why that show grew so much with Eddie, with Ray, with Kurt Angle, Undertaker, all of them. So he said, I dreamed that I was gonna win the Royal Rumble match and main event Wrestlemania. I dreamed that I was gonna get back my championship that I never lost. And on Sunday, I outlasted 29 of the best wrestlers in the world. Lie.
I was gonna say when he said that, I was like, Edge, oh, come on, man.
That's when you go legit and you become politician. Lie. No. But anyway,
Yep.
He said, now I find myself in this situation of the main event of WrestleMania, and who am I supposed to choose? Jean Paul Egg on Raw, Kwanzaa on NXT Latin America. No, none of that. But he just mentioned Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns. So I asked my family, my friends, and everybody said different answers. But in the end, and then Roman comes out. And then we got to see the big stare down. This was good though. I like this, boom. And Edge, Roman's entrance took way too long. It reminded me of the Undertaker, maybe 10 minutes because I went to the bathroom. I actually puked my guts
maybe
out.
that's what they're doing. Edge is used to standing there waiting for that entrance. So
yeah, it's very similar. So he said, hey man, why you need backup? Can you just be by yourself? And you see Jey Uso and Paul Heyman is he's like, guys, I got it. It's all good. And then he goes, well, you need to acknowledge me. So I like this big stare down. Didn't you like this? I'm like, oh,
this was really good, and I like Edge in this because so you see other people with this with Roman, they either get scared or they get real worked up. Like Kevin Owens gets all angry and starts yelling and shit, getting in Roman's face, and Edge was just real calm. And he was just cool, and he, and then kind of, what we saw to close the show, he just kind of gets a smile on his face, just look behind you, you big dumbass.
Yeah, but the big thing he said is acknowledge me. You see the intensity in Roman. I like that. Acknowledge me. He's like, acknowledge me like I'm the, I'm the main event of WrestleMania. I'm the champion of the whole WWE. Say it to my face.
And I think, and I hope they play off this. Is Roman was just hey, I'm the best guy here. I'm the champ. If you don't love me, you'll respect me because of who I am. And then Edge comes back, and now everybody's attention is on Edge. So maybe Roman is a little jealous. Let's go into the world of kayfabe here. It's maybe Roman is a little jealous. He's a little pissed off. And that's why we're seeing this intensity. And that's why we always say, Roman is getting worked into a shoot. He's getting pissed off instead of being the cool, calm tribal chief head of the table. He's the one who's getting angry and getting agitated at Edge.
The roles are completely reversed.
Yes.
But, we were going really, really good. And then KO is not over with it. KO shows up.
No, KO Mania is still running wild, brother.
Yeah. And still stunners like Roman. And then he walks away. And then he has a little bit of stare down with Edge, two Canadians. So he's like, what's up, bro? We're in the same country and all of that. So he walks away. So it seems like KO is not over. It's not over yet for KO. It's not over yet. And then we get this thing, like you said, do some dodge mark. Oh, okay. I think I'm good. For now.
And see, that's why I'm not sure if they are going to do this match. I mean, I really don't want to see that Roman and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. To be honest with you,
no.
I mean, to me, it's too late. Even if you tell me, oh, Jean Paul guaranteed Kevin Owens is going to win, like he will win, it's set in stone, then I'll go, okay, then I guess I'll see it. But otherwise, no. If there's a possibility, oh, Roman will still retain and all that shit, oh, then SummerSlam, no, don't give me any more of this bullshit unless Kevin Owens is going to win. I mean, and the triple threat, I really don't want to see that either. I don't want to see Edge. No,
because there has to be spear versus spear. It has to be a singles match. Like you mentioned, title matches, championship matches needs to be most of the time just singles,
Mhm.
unless there's like a really great third party to be added to that. But I don't think this is the case.
Yeah,
Because
and I don't think they're going to do NXT. I know there's been reports WWE said they want Finn Balor on WrestleMania. Now, obviously, it could be Edge versus Finn Balor, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to do what I has been proposed for the past couple of weeks. It'll be Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor WrestleMania weekend. So then, it's got to be either Edge versus Drew or Edge versus Roman. And, that's why I'm really not sure what they're going to do because, with Kevin Owens. So I guess it is intriguing because now we got to watch SmackDown to keep seeing, what they do.
Always going to be watching SmackDown for every single one of you. So this wraps out the show, family. Thank you so very much for being with us. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. We have content every single time. This is our first live, so we're going to try to be doing this more often. But thank you, family, for everything that you've done for us. Don't forget where they can find us, Paul.
And, follow us, Rope Break, on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and, of course, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And, family, we'll be back with more content tomorrow. We have a lot of good stuff planned for you guys. So you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...